And it's also interesting in the fact that, you know, last time I saw Glenn, he was playing funk. Your career's taken off, you've done your fusion thing, and it's all come together so well. And I suppose Jason's a big element in that, the big drum sound, the big rock sound.
Yeah.
And of course you finished things off last night with a touch of the Who.
Yeah, that was like, actually, that was...
You should explain that for anybody that wasn't there.
Well, we ended we ended with like a little like we ended it like with just a little like tease of "Won't Get Fooled Again," the drum break and stuff. And that just came out of like we
were just jamming, messing around.
We're just messing around.
You know, we should keep that.
We just keep it, yeah. And it's like it's about us not making any apologies for, you know, we know where the music's come from. You know, we're not claiming like we reinvented the wheel, but we've actually, what we are doing is going like, you know, a record like this hasn't been made in a while, and we feel that there's a niche for it. I think there's still a demand for this kind of music, being not doing just covers, but writing original new music.
I think that's the crucial part of it, really.
Yeah.
And the fact you've got such a great performance out of Glenn, which is, I'm asking you. I mean, I could tell him that, but I mean, I think he's
Glenn did a great job, and I thought he sounded great last night.
Yes,
he did.
I think you all did, and you all seemed very relaxed last night. Didn't seem to be any. Just went for it and flowed.
What else are you gonna do?
Well, you know, BBM tried to do it, and they all fell apart. You know.
Who? Baker, Bruce, and Moore.
Yeah. It was a similar kind of a concept with great ideas, new material.
Well, I think honestly, if Jack Bruce would shake more people's hands and be nicer, he'd probably have better luck.
But he was not a nice guy.
He wouldn't shake my hand. I went up to him and I said, I don't care if this is on tape, he should know this. I went up to him at the Classic Rock Awards and I said, Mr. Bruce, you don't know me, my name is Joe Bonamassa.
Hey,
and it was like,
Glenn's just entered the building.
I said, you know, Cream is like one of my huge influences, and I went to shake his hand, and he looked at me and goes, I'm sorry to hear that, and walked away.
Wow.
He said, I'm sorry, what?
He goes, I said, you know, like, thank you for the inspiration, like, you know, I'm you know, like Joe Bonamassa, you don't know me, but thank you for the inspiration.
We were just talking about Jack Bruce and the way he blanked Joe.
Yeah, and he looked at me like horrified, like I'd said something offensive to him. And he just, I had my hand out, he would refuse to shake my hand, and he goes, I'm sorry to hear that. And he turned around, about face, and walked away.
Dick.
That's great.
I understand that. I've known Jack a long time. And
brilliant musician. I mean.
Yeah. I like Jack. I mean, we get along great.
But we were just talking, Glenn, about your fantastic performance. I mean, seriously, fantastic performance last night, and the fact you seem to be completely re-jigged up, everything, whatever you want to call it. The album seems to give you a whole new lease of life. You're back to playing rock.
Yeah, as I wanted to be. Joe and I, although there's an age gap, Joe and I are completely at one with the atmosphere we create musically. And with Derek with us and Jason Bonham, we have captured something that was quite remarkable. And it doesn't matter what decade we're in, this band is just a moment in time that it's supposed to be.
Is it reminiscent of how it was for you?
For me, this is like being in Trapeze, because it's from the ground up. With the members of the band that have created this thing. We're not joining a band that's already famous. We've created our own style of music out of the gate. I feel like I'm back in Trapeze, which is a good thing.
It's unbelievable.
And I'm not doing this on the strength of, you know, Richie Blackmore or somebody else. You know, we've created a little rock and roll band, and we're making.
And you've written a whole load of lyrics, of course.
Well, I'm a bit of a maniacal about that. So yeah, I mean, we've all worked really hard on this. I mean, Joe's got 2 careers going on. I have as well. Derek's out with,
incredibly busy.
You know, so we can do it all. I mean, we're all hungry for music. We do it. If the music comes first, then everything else follows.
And we're all looking forward to some live shows, which isn't going to happen this year. We've talked about
It'll
that.
happen, and we will announce when it's appropriate. We can't really announce until it's been confirmed, but we are working behind the scenes now to actively get this band on the road when it's right.
And so when you did come together, you started with a blank sheet of paper. You've written some very, very strong material, probably the strongest material.
You said we had paper.
Well, hey, I'm old school here.
We did. You know what he did? You know, Joe and I did come up with the bulk of the stuff. But it's great because, you know, I've known Joe for 3 or 4 years, so it's nice that we knew each other. You know, when you write with somebody, if you don't know them, it's difficult. So Joe and I immediately felt really good in that format. And it's, you know, songwriting is a sensitive issue. It's not like we're sitting at computers like, and then we did this.
No.
We are old school in the way that we get together toe to toe and we start just bashing it out.
Certainly happened last night. It was a great show. I think the crowd really picked up on it, the vibe and everything. We also talked just before you got here, Glenn, about Sister Jane and the fact that both you and Joe sang on that and sang different
Something
parts.
I wanted to do. I wrote certain songs with Joe in mind to sing. I know Joni wanted to sing a couple of songs. I wanted him to sing more. I loved the tone of Joe's voice. He's a wonderful singer, and he's only going to get better.
Yeah. The thing we haven't talked about, everybody's already asked you about, I know, is the title of the band, Black Country. That's a reference presumably to obviously where you come from, but the fact that classic rock is well known for coming from that part of Great Britain,
I mean,
and resurrecting the whole thing.
I run it by Derek and Joe, if they were cool with paying homage to the birthplace of rock, English rock, and it was okay. And you know, quite honestly, I think the name of the band really is a great rock and roll name.
Yeah.
You know, it's
matched by some excellent artwork as well.
you know, it's a great. It's
Great songs, great band.
Yeah.
We just need some gigs, boys. So you're going to do another
You know,
album, I think.
I mean, we've been feeling this question for months, and the fact is, the matter is, we're staying true to the belief is that we can only release the dates when we confirm them, because it would be awful to start talking about shows and they're not booked, or
Yes.
you know, because we want to do this appropriately and very pro, and there's a lot of people in this organisation behind the scenes working really hard to satisfy the consumer, and like I say, the music comes first for this band, and this band will tour.
What was all the secrecy about? I mean, Kevin Shirley came out and said the cat is finally out of the bag when eventually it was announced that you were going to do this. Was it simply because you were all doing different projects before that?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I think
It's a long lead-in time.
Well, no, I mean, the whole thing is like, you know, again, it's like the best part about this album and this band is it's been, before the record's kind of been out there and leaked, it was underhyped but overachieved expectations, and that's actually
You mean
really
recording?
that when people hear about anything like this forming, they immediately go, this could be the greatest thing that ever happened to music or whatnot. And mind you, in reality, when it first leaked that we were doing this, we had not recorded a single note of music to tape. So the priority there is making the best record. It doesn't matter what the names are on the CD. Is the CD good or not, and does it stand up to its own merit? So the secrecy was purposely to like just keep the hype machine down and just concentrate on making a really good record, and that's what I believe what we've done, and quite frankly it's worked out to everybody's advantage, because when it did come out, I go like, wow guys, I didn't think you guys were going to come up with something this good, and I think that really turned out into be a very important thing for our success.
And that being the case, you're going to be committed to, all going to be collectively committed to it long term, somewhere down the line.
I mean,
it's too good not to.
even
be,
if you
really.
hadn't have seen it last night, we know how good it is, without being arrogant. We know how good this band is in front of nobody and in front of people.
Yeah.
And we are so glad that you got to share with us last night. Let's just say that we're really enjoying what we're doing.
A lot of smiles, some great music.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to record one more album before you
Yeah,
tour,
we're going to
is
go in and do some more work and see what happens. And
Would that be the same quick in and out recording process?
Who knows? I don't know.
you know, we might have 2 extra days. Seriously, I'm not joking. It's going to be still a 5 or 6 day tracking period. And Joe will do his solos. Well, actually, Joe's done his solos by that point. He'll come back and do his vocals with me when he's got a minute, and then we'll mix it when Kevin's got a minute. And we won't. I guess we're looking at the end of the year to release something.
Yeah, the other question I want to ask you, Glenn, and I've asked the other 2 guys already, is would you conceived of doing this album a few years ago, or was it part and parcel of an upswing classic rock as you see it?
This is a little bit of luck and a little bit of love, a little bit of fate, a little bit of mumbo jumbo,
Right.
a little bit of whatever, and you've got 4 guys coming together, 5 guys with Kevin at the right moment, at the right time. It's happened to bands before us, and it'll happen after us.
Ladies and gentlemen, check out the album Black Country Communion. Check him out on YouTube. I'm sure it's already out there. Better still, go and buy the album on Mascot Records. This has been Pete Feenstra with Prakash on the camera. Good afternoon.